Okay, this is day 41, part 3. Behind me, Steve King. Steve King, everybody knows Steve King. Steve King is the representative in Iowa with Ames, Iowa. I think it's Iowa 1, I want to say. Iowa 1. I believe in 2007 in the Foreign Relations Committee, he said the Awans are aspiring that are reading all of our mail. I haven't had anybody check that yet. That's going to be really important because if he's sounding the alarm, in 2007 saying, hey, these Awans are reading all of our mail, who knows? Maybe he knew about the chip in the toner, and they're also getting all the people that print stuff to printers, Republicans and Democrats, right? Not just what's on the caucus server, but what's in the printer toner cartridge memory, who knows? But if he's saying that in 2007 and here we are 10 years later with the same spying in Congress, that seems odd. It seems like even during this period from February 2nd when the Luke Rosiak's article first broke, you would think he would step up and say, hey, wait a minute. I remember these guys. I said something about this 10 years ago. I said something. If you see something, you say something. I said something. So I think it's in the Foreign Relations Committee. I think it's Steve King. I think it's the Awans. I think he's saying, hey, the Awans are looking at our email. I don't think he knew about the printer memory. But I'm here today at the Supreme Court. Yesterday they heard Carpenter versus the United States. This is the cell phone case. Of course, they put up a criminal to defend it instead of a journalist who's challenging it. But this is one where if we say, okay, the cell phones when they started out 20 years ago couldn't do geolocation very well at all. They were basically to from metadata. Now they've turned it, now you can get into the phone, you've got all your apps, people are saying fertility apps and all your Uber and your banking and everything. They can get everything just by getting into your phone now. Your phone is your life now, right? So that's what's at stake here, digital privacy for the next, maybe 50 years. So it's a big case. It is, there it is right over there, the border, the Dred Scott border. Only this is the Dred digital frontier. It's right there, right there. So we're all Dred Scott now, so we got to play this one right. So I haven't read the oral arguments yesterday. I think the oral arguments get posted like a day later after the clerks mark them up, and then the judges, they really go into this kind of annotation phase where they'll just ask a few questions and mainly just gather information, gather the arguments, clarify the arguments of the attorneys, but they're not going to issue any opinions on that yet. But it should be interesting just to see what the oral arguments were. I haven't had time. I did 19 videos or something like that yesterday. But that's going to be really interesting. And the other thing that's going to be very interesting is the DHS hack. The DHS hack I think it's going to be the hack is at Hawkshead. It's the DHS hacks at Hawkshead. I think it's the DHS hacks at Hawkshead. The Hawkshead home in Lorton, Virginia is, I think, where the raid was where the DHS IG was. Why do I say that? There's, I believe, a friendship between Teresa Grafenstein, the Inspector General, a long friendship between the Awans and Teresa Grafenstein. So that's, obviously she knows Nancy Pelosi, she appointed her. Okay, so I think there's a relationship there. And the fact that another Inspector General, one of the DynCorp 30 backbone, remember, Imran's playing video games with the 123 mail.house.gov email with Andre Carson. Okay, he's playing video games with that person. DHS. Okay, so DHS is hacked. Who else got raided by DHS and two intelligence agencies in early spring? My initial working theory is Hina Alvi pulls her kids out of school and goes to Pakistan in a rush with $10,000 in cash. That's because something just happened. That's, I think, May 3rd week of March. So I'm going to say that the raid at the Hawkshead home happened maybe a day or two before that. And the reason why Imran comes over here to the building over here is to erase everything and make a backup so he can take the operation to Pakistan. I think the operation stays in Pakistan until July the 27th, until he gets back here when he's going to leave and go again with another set of disk drives and he gets arrested. We still don't know what was in his backpack at the airport. We don't know the contents of the backpack at the airport. We know the contents of the backpack on the April raid. I believe the one I found was the March raid, the March DHS raid, We don't know the contents of the April raid, and we don't know the contents of Imran's backpack at the airport. Those are going to be key things for discovery as we roll forward. The backpack is really a triad. There's really 3 troves. I got close to one of them with a witness to one of them, but there's going to be 2 other troves, the Capitol Police trove, and then also the TSA trove out at the Dulles Airport.